In the quiet suburbs of Georgia, on a serene lakefront property that had been in his family for generations, Ethan Blackwell lived a life of simple contentment. A disabled veteran turned woodworker, Ethan spent his days crafting intricate pieces from reclaimed timber, the rhythmic hum of his tools echoing across the water. The land was more than just dirt, and trees to him it was a legacy, a sanctuary where he'd found peace after years of chaos. But tranquility has a way of shattering when greed comes knocking. One crisp autumn morning, Victoria Langford, the iron-fisted president of the local homeowners association, pulled up in her sleek black SUV. She stepped out with a predatory smile, clipboard in hand, and approached Ethan's workshop. "Mr. Blackwell," she said smoothly, "I'm here to make you an offer you can't refuse. $50,000 for this plot. We're developing luxury villas. Think of the progress." Ethan looked up from his lathe, wiping sawdust from his hands. The offer was laughable. The land was worth 10 times that. Politely but firmly, he declined, citing the sentimental value and his unwillingness to uproot his life. Victoria's smile faded into a sneer. "Sentimental? This isn't about feelings, Mr. Blackwell. It's about community improvement." She hinted at zoning violations, threatened inspections that could shut him down, and even suggested eminent domain if he didn't play ball. Ethan stood his ground, his voice steady despite the rising tension. But Victoria wasn't one to back down. She whipped out her phone and dialed the police, her voice trembling dramatically as she accused him of threatening her and harboring illegal activities on the property. "He's unhinged," she hissed into the receiver. "A danger to us all." Within minutes, sirens wailed, and officers Hayes and Ramirez arrived, their cruisers blocking the driveway. Ethan cooperated fully, inviting them inside to review his permits and paperwork. Everything was in order: his woodworking shop licensed, his land deeds impeccable. As they conducted a voluntary search, Ethan rolled up his sleeve to show a faded tattoo on his forearm, a ghostly insignia intertwined with a classified military emblem. Officer Hayes froze, his eyes widening in recognition. "Where do you serve?" he asked, his tone shifting from suspicion to something akin to awe. Ethan just shrugged, but the officer's demeanor changed. He radioed in a code that Ramirez didn't question. Whispers of deeper trouble began to surface. Neighbor Mrs. Caldwell, peering over the fence with her binoculars, muttered about the neighborhood's underbelly. "That HOA's been bullying folks for years," she said. "Remember the Thompsons? They vanished after refusing a similar offer. Poof, gone without a trace." Ethan filed that away, his instincts prickling. Then there were the fake documents from Councilman Reed, pushing through approvals for the villa project with suspicious speed. And at night, odd construction noises echoed from the site, drills and muffled booms that sounded less like building and more like something sinister. The harassment escalated. Ethan's online presence was suddenly flooded with smears, fabricated criminal records, accusations of fraud and violence. Tracing the IP addresses led to Eastern European hackers, but who was paying them? Ethan reached out to an old colleague, Elena Vargas, a sharp-witted operative from his shadowy past. Over an encrypted line, she dropped a bombshell. Victoria Langford was under surveillance, linked to underground networks smuggling arms across borders. "She's not who she seems," Elena warned. "And you're in her crosshairs." Digging deeper revealed the truth. Victoria Langford was Nadia Petrova, an international arms dealer presumed dead after a botched raid in Montenegro years ago. Flashbacks haunted Ethan, the acrid smoke of that operation, where Nadia's cartel had ambushed his team, slaughtering his brothers in arms in a hail of gunfire. Nadia's son, a young enforcer, had died in the crossfire, his body crumpling amid the chaos. Ethan had pulled the trigger in self-defense, but the guilt lingered like shrapnel. Nadia blamed him personally, vowing revenge that had festered into this elaborate scheme. Posing as an HOA tyrant was her cover to get close, to strip him of everything before the final blow. The climax erupted under a storm-lashed sky. Nadia's tactical team, mercenaries clad in black, armed with silenced rifles, stormed Ethan's property at midnight. They breached the fence, expecting an easy takedown of a disabled vet. But Ethan was prepared. His garden gnomes, seemingly whimsical decorations, exploded in flashes of light and shrapnel as tripwires triggered homemade defense, non-lethal but disorienting, born from his survival training. Gunfire cracked the night as Ethan fought back from fortified positions, his prosthetic leg no hindrance in the adrenaline-fueled melee. One assailant lunged. Ethan disarmed him with a brutal efficiency that belied his civilian facade. Officer Hayes, tipped off by that tattoo's implication, arrived first, sirens blaring. "Federal jurisdiction," he shouted, drawing his weapon and calling for backup. Mrs. Caldwell, ever the busybody, live-streamed the chaos from her window, her feed going viral. Veteran under siege by HOA thugs government cover-up? The video captured the raw violence, sparking immediate outrage, online debates raging about HOA overreach, veteran mistreatment, and whispers of deep state involvement. Helicopters thundered overhead as Elena's response team descended, rotors whipping the lake into froth. "Stand down," Elena bellowed, revealing Ethan's true identity. Phantom, an elite operative embedded in a long-game sting to lure Nadia out. The property wasn't just family land. It was bait in a federal trap to dismantle her resurgent network. Nadia, cornered in her escape tunnels beneath the development site's secret passages for smuggling, faced Ethan one last time. "You took my son," she spat, eyes blazing with hatred. "And for what? Your so-called justice." Ethan met her gaze, his voice low. "He chose that life. You dragged him into it. This ends now." Surrounded by agents, Nadia surrendered, her empire crumbling with arrests rippling across continents. The tunnels yielded crates of illegal arms, linking her to terrorist cells that had funded wars and toppled regimes. Controversies exploded. Was the government's use of a veteran as live bait ethical? Had HOA corruption masked international crime for too long? Pundits argued fiercely, some decrying surveillance state tactics, others praising the takedown of a monster. 6 months later, the dust settled. Ethan's property was rebuilt, stronger than before, with federal funds quietly funneled his way. He returned to woodworking, carving pieces that now held hidden stories of resilience. Mrs. Caldwell basked in her internet fame, her livestream turning her into a folk hero for exposing the man. The official narrative framed it as the capture of a fugitive arms dealer, Ethan's role buried in classified files. But whispers persisted, fueling debates about hidden strengths and the cost of standing against bullies, they neighborhood tyrants or global threats. In the end, Ethan's quiet life endured, a testament to the shadows that lurk beneath suburbia's facade, where one man's refusal could unravel empires.